I told him we should keep things purely platonic. He didn't question it. He didn't beg. He just vanished from my life before I even made it through my front door. It felt like a moment straight out of a film. 1 second everything was normal, the next it shattered. We had been sitting there, talking softly, sharing small, vulnerable pieces of ourselves. And suddenly I was erased from his world. If you've ever tried to let someone down gently, only to watch their heart break like a slammed door, you know exactly what that feels like. We weren't lovers, but we weren't just friends either. We existed in that fragile in-between, caught somewhere between closeness and caution, where so much went unspoken, yet everything was deeply felt. Our nights would stretch into dawn, heavy with the kind of talks that feel like confessions. Random texts popped up for no reason other than that we were thinking of each other. We made playlists. We built inside jokes that no one else could understand. Weekends blurred together from, "Are you free?" to him staying the night. No titles. No need for explanations. Everything felt so easy, like a melody I hadn't mastered, but could hum without missing a note. That's where the danger crept in. Because I was still fragile, still piecing myself together after someone else had broken me. My heart had only just begun to heal when he arrived, not with fireworks or grand gestures, but with quiet steadiness. And for a while that was enough. Until it wasn't. Until the day I realized he cared more deeply than I was ready to. He never said the words, but I could feel them, in how his eyes lingered when I rambled about meaningless things, in the way he remembered details I barely recalled saying, in how safe I felt being imperfect around him. And that terrified me, because I knew he wanted more than I could give. So I did what fear makes us do, I ran. I reached for the oldest excuse in the book. I think we should just be friends. It wasn't planned. I didn't want to hurt him. The words slipped out softly while we sat parked outside my building. He was handing me a snack I'd mentioned craving days before. A small, thoughtful act that caught me completely off guard. I looked at him, warm, unsuspecting, and tried to deliver the blow as gently as I could. He didn't argue. He didn't try to persuade me otherwise. He simply nodded, quiet and calm, and let me go. That night, I stood at my door, the cool air biting at my skin as my hands shook on the keys. Part of me wanted to turn around to say, "Wait, I'm just scared. I'm not ready to lose this." But I didn't. I went inside, sank onto the couch, and grabbed my phone. Blocked on Instagram. Removed from WhatsApp. Unfollowed on Twitter. My messages wouldn't send. It was as if he had carved me out of his life completely. At first came the sharp sting, cold and piercing. Then panic. Then a slow, dull ache that settled deep in my chest, heavy with guilt and loss. I'd expected a gradual drift, some lingering thread of connection, but he allowed no space for that. For days, I told myself I had done the right thing. He deserved someone whole, and I wasn't there yet. I couldn't give what I didn't have. But the more I repeated those words, the hollower they became. The truth wasn't that I doubted him. It was that I doubted myself. He was patient, kind, genuine. I had never known love so steady, one that didn't demand or condition. I was used to affection that needed proof, to love that asked me to shrink and shape myself to fit someone else's mold. But he never wanted to change me. He wanted me exactly as I was, and I couldn't believe I was enough. So I hid behind friendship, and he answered with silence, not anger, not pleading, just a vast, consuming absence. Since then, I've written a dozen messages. Each one starts with "hey" and ends up deleted. What could I even say? I'm sorry I was afraid. I'm sorry I hid behind friendship. I'm sorry I didn't trust that your love wouldn't break me. But I never sent them. Maybe he deserves someone braver. Someone who wouldn't ruin something real by stepping back at the wrong moment. The truth is, I miss him. Not a polished memory, not a perfect version. Him. The way his presence softened the world. The way he listened like every word I spoke mattered. The way he saw me whole, even when I felt in pieces. I don't know if he'll ever see this. I don't know if he ever thinks of me. But if he does, I want him to know. I didn't choose just friends because I didn't care. I chose it because I cared too deeply. And that terrified me. If you've ever walked away before truly letting someone in, if you've hidden behind safe words to dodge the chaos of real emotion, if you felt the sting of being cut off and believed you deserved it, know this, I understand. We all stumble in love sometimes. The real test is what we do with the silence that follows.